Salem Chamber members, our community lost a very prolific leader last week in the passing of Senator Peter Courtney. Myself and our leadership have taken a little time to reflect, and we wish to share a video, Peter's presentation at our 2023 First Citizen Banquet, for you to reflect on the life of a true Oregon statesman. There were times that Peter was, say, a little unique to deal with. He was staunch in his ways, and they didn't always align with the small business community. But Peter believed in bigger things and made sure to drive results to our Salem community, as well as have incredible results across the state. Take a little time to reflect back on the life of Senator Courtney and know that the Salem Chamber, regardless of where we sat, across the aisle from Peter or arm in arm next to him, we're proud to partner with him and thank his great respect for our state and wanting Oregon to be better tomorrow than he found it today.
When I came here tonight, you're supposed to come here as a winner and they're going to put a flower on you. And the first thing a person said to me is, "You've gotten a lot older, Peter." Think that's funny, don't you? And when I was getting up to go to the restroom, a woman said to me over there, "Stand up straight, Peter." Really feeling very confident up here. I worked for days with Josh Kay in his speech that he just gave. He didn't listen to a word I said. So there's a little nervous, very nervous coming here. And I wasn't surprised when they did that thing to me in the Y, set up with Nell and Sinatra. And with Nell, you know, he's got the Y named after him, he's First Citizen, and he wanted me to say that here today to remind you that he was that important. May pay off sometime in the future for me. And I was not surprised, I was numb, I was shocked. I was stunned. I almost got sick, and that's true. And my mother once said to me, she had 3 boys, and she said to me, "Peter, you may have a gift of speaking, and I want to be sure you understand something, Peter. You always should be sure that you're never cruel with your words and never say anything that you can't take back." Now, my mother had Parkinson's disease for 39 years before it killed her. And I didn't understand what she was saying. I did later on. So many things my mother and father said to me came to me later on. So what I'm going to say here is my sincere hope that you will accept it as the ultimate high praise. When I came here 54 years ago, I didn't know a soul. I lived in room 206 of the YMCA, and I got on the city council. Don't know how it happened, but I did. And at that time, the council was heavily involved in creating the comprehensive plan for the great city of Salem, state capital of Oregon, my Oregon. And to my way of thinking, the most powerful groups here, outside of the council, was the board and the old YMCA, a lot of the old guys, they were there, and the Chamber of Commerce. And I'll be very frank with you, there were times that where I stood on that council and voted, the council was very upset with me. And I was worried about it. I was very new in elective politics. I was trying to get the figure of things, but we were creating boundaries and zones which affected businesses. and they were very upset. I also was nicknamed the bus boy because I was heavily involved in trying to promote a transit system. And even there, we struggled. Not on all things, but we struggled. When I went to the legislature, I think they thought maybe he'll improve, but I didn't. An example is the minimum wage. I always went to their candidates forum in that beautiful building over there, and I always talked to them. They never endorsed me, and I always watched the First Citizen Banquet because it was an extraordinary event to me. You always wait to Sunday morning to get my Statesman Journal to see who was chosen as the first citizen. And it was a very royal, extraordinary ceremony. But Peter Courtney would never, ever be involved in anything like that because my life was a public employee, was not a member of the chamber, and my voting record. So when they told me that you were going to give me this recognition, I was stunned. But I'll tell you what was most extraordinary about it, in my opinion. I have lived in politics for 44 years as an elected official. And I have become very depressed about the situation that exists now in our government and the way things are going. Because the situation is, I'm right and you're wrong. And I have no responsibility to work with you to try to resolve our differences. When the Chamber of Commerce decided to give me this recognition, it almost brought tears to my eyes. I only wish that the city council members that I serve with could still be here and still be alive to see it. It's an extraordinary statement about your organization and about the fact that you may be creating a path and a light as a business group, as a community group of people who don't always agree and don't always find ways to resolve their differences, but they're willing to try. The last thing I want to say is, you got to remember, when I was here, the Chamber of Commerce building was a beautiful place right across from the old Y was. And we lit it on fire. Let me follow, don't get scared. We lit it on fire to train our fire department. Burned the thing down. Now, don't take that personal, but we burned your house down. Maybe one of the reasons it took you so long to look. Anyway, so when I looked at this community, when I came here, there was one restaurant. There was maybe a pizza place. I'm living at the Y. I was single. I hadn't yet met Margie Ann Brendan Bernadette Courtney. Now, you notice how I did that? You notice how I did that? Beautifully, I moved it right in there, see? But let me tell you why I did that. This is the email. This is the email sent to every one of us who's going to get an award. And I'm going to read you something in this email. And a hint, always remember to thank your spouse or partner that one gets missed on occasion and doesn't go over well at home later in the night. What does Tom Hobart know about my wife and me at after hours? I mean, look at that. And then he says, you only can speak 3 to 5 minutes so that we can allow the distinguished first citizen to speak for 2 days. Okay, he's right here. I'm not making it up. It's right there. You want to read it? Finally, as I said, if you look at my community today, the buildings, the rebuilding, the branding, the rebranding, the increases in things dramatically of the state capital of Oregon, none of that could have happened, none of it, let me say this, without a strong business community, a Chamber of Commerce. Now, I'll tell you why. If you're going to do a levy, a school levy, a bus levy, a council levy, a Temecula Community College levy, you better be sure the Chamber of Commerce doesn't oppose it. I learned these things the hard way, Courtney, you dummy. Did I learn them? Because it's not going to work. And I do think, I would like to know where this Chamber of Commerce ranks. I've got to believe you're elite. I've got to. Because this state capital now is being talked about across the state. It is. It is. It's the young people are settling, the restaurants, I could go on. It's so dynamic and alive. And I got to tell you, Chamber, you should be very proud of yourselves. Tonight should be as much of a celebration about you as any of those of us. So thank you. I appreciate it very much. I would finally say that I hope you have a great Easter. And the reason I say it is my name's Peter. Peter Rabbit.